The Libyan Enigma, an introduction to Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi, the name itself evokes strong emotions. He was a man of contradictions, a revolutionary leader who ruled with an iron fist. For over 4 decades, he was the face of Libya, a country shrouded in mystery and intrigue. Born in a Bedouin tent in 1942, Gaddafi rose from humble beginnings to become one of the world's most recognizable and controversial leaders. His rule was marked by both periods of relative peace and brutal repression, leaving an indelible mark on Libya's history. Gaddafi's life story is a reminder of the intoxicating allure of power and the devastating consequences of its abuse. This essay delves into the life and times of Muammar Gaddafi, exploring his rise to power, his reign, and his eventual downfall. Kindly drop a comment, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you for visiting Inside Harbor. From desert wanderer to revolutionary leader, Muammar Gaddafi's early life was one of stark contrasts. Born into a nomadic Bedouin tribe in the deserts of Sirte, Libya, he experienced a traditional upbringing rooted in the values of his nomadic heritage. However, his thirst for knowledge led him to seek education in a formal setting, exposing him to a world beyond the desert sands. Gaddafi's education played a pivotal role in shaping his worldview. He was particularly drawn to the ideas of pan-Arabism and Arab nationalism, ideologies that advocated for the unity and empowerment of Arab nations. Inspired by the revolutionary fervor sweeping across the Arab world, Gaddafi joined the Libyan military, seeing it as a path to power and a platform to realize his vision for a new Libya. It was within the military that Gaddafi formed a secret revolutionary group, bound by their shared ambition to overthrow the monarchy and establish a new order in Libya. A bloodless coup and the promise of a new dawn. In 1969, at the age of 27, Muammar Gaddafi, along with a group of young military officers, staged a bloodless coup d'état, overthrowing King Idris I. This event marked a turning point in Libyan history, ushering in a new era under Gaddafi's leadership. The coup was swift and decisive, reflecting Gaddafi's strategic acumen and the deep dissatisfaction within Libya with the existing monarchy. Gaddafi's group, the Free Officers Movement, capitalized on the public's desire for change, promising a more equitable society and a break from the past. He abolished the monarchy, declared Libya a republic, and set about nationalizing key industries, including oil production. His early years in power were marked by ambitious social and economic reforms, including investments in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Section 4. The Green Book and the Iron Fist. Gaddafi's vision for Libya. As Gaddafi consolidated his power, he sought to reshape Libyan society in accordance with his own idiosyncratic ideology, outlined in his infamous Green Book. This treatise, a bizarre blend of socialism, Islam, and pan-Arabism, became the blueprint for Gaddafi's vision of a Jamahiriya, or state of the masses. While this concept appeared progressive on the surface, in reality, it served to mask Gaddafi's increasingly authoritarian grip on power. Gaddafi's regime, despite its rhetoric of popular empowerment, was characterized by widespread human rights abuses, suppression of dissent, and a pervasive culture of fear. Despite his repressive tactics, Gaddafi remained a popular figure among some segments of Libyan society, particularly those who benefited from his social programs and economic policies. Section 5. The Desert Lion roars Gaddafi on the global stage. Muammar Gaddafi's foreign policy was as unpredictable and often as perplexing as the man himself. He oscillated between periods of relative pragmatism and outright defiance of the international community, earning him the moniker, the Desert Lion. Gaddafi was a vocal critic of Western imperialism and a staunch supporter of Palestinian liberation. He provided financial and military support to various liberation movements and armed groups around the world, often putting him at odds with Western powers. Gaddafi's alleged support for terrorism led to a U.S. bombing raid on Tripoli in 1986, further straining relations between the two countries. However, in a surprising turn of events, Gaddafi renounced terrorism and sought to improve relations with the West in the early 2000s. Section 6. The Arab Spring and the Fall of a Dictator. The year 2011 marked a turning point in the Middle East and North Africa as a wave of popular uprisings dubbed the Arab Spring swept across the region, toppling long-standing dictatorships and challenging the status quo. Libya, under Gaddafi's iron-fisted rule, was not immune to this tide of change. Inspired by the successful revolutions in Tunisia and Egypt, Libyan protesters took to the streets in February 2011, demanding an end to Gaddafi's 42-year reign. The protests, initially peaceful, were met with brutal force by Gaddafi's security forces, igniting a full-blown armed rebellion. The United Nations Security Council authorized military intervention in Libya, and a NATO-led coalition launched airstrikes against Gaddafi's forces, turning the tide of the conflict in favor of the rebels. In October 2011, Gaddafi was captured and killed by rebel fighters in his hometown of Sirte, bringing an end to his decades-long rule.